we were able to do Bellator fights. We were able to do many UFC fights, like 5-6 guys were in UFC. We had Khabib Nurmagomedov start
I
with
was going to ask you that, actually. I remember you being with him.
Yeah.
I was wondering if my memory's like lapsing.
Right. With the K Dojo and...
first in UFC? Well, Adlan started in Strikeforce. Then
Adlan Namagov is a Strikeforce. So we did a lot of high-level fights, Many, actually. You name it, we've been there, done that.
That was 2009, 2010, I think, right?
This is around that time where...
So who was your first fighter?
Well, even...
In the UFC?
In UFC was Khabib, yes.
Habib was the first fighter.
Habib was the first fighter.
Now, what happened? Why did Khabib not stay with you?
Khabib... Unfortunately, I don't like to bring the negative and past, especially negativities and stuff into the thing.
Minus the negative. Let's just hear the story minus negative.
When there's someone asks, I just answer it. That's what it is. It's we had some kind of a conflict with some manager. One was running the team and show, and some kind of like conflict and problems and issues.
Okay.
So, and I'm talking about financial and taxes and stuff like that. We just did first Khabib's fight in UFC. He won Kamal Sharu's fight, and we came back. We're together, and we just signed another guy, Azamat Gashimov, in UFC. And
you had 3 fights with Khabib, right?
No. And we were getting him ready, and this conflict came up, and they were in New Jersey with me in my team, and this conflict is going on, and I'm not sure about the future of the team and the gym. I wasn't sure, like, wait a minute, this is problem now I have. If we go down, these guys will go down.
Right.
And they have nothing to do with this conflict,
Right.
And they have so much opportunity and future. They could be so good. And at that time, I met in Strikeforce, King Mo, Muhammad Lawal.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
I had his number and everything.
Right.
And I knew him personally, and until now, we get in touch, I called him. I was like, listen, I have this problem. And I have this fighter. He's really good. He was not known back then. But I said he has potential. Can I send it to West Coast somewhere, like maybe American Kickboxing Academy, or can you hook him up over there? I know this is a good camp,
He was fighting right near there. I think the fight was scheduled.
And I forgot what was the second fight was about to happen with T-Bow. Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. And so he's like, let me call you back.
Okay.
Then he calls Javier Mendez and talks to him. Then he calls back. He's like, send him over, no problem. Well, they will receive him. I didn't really discuss the details and pays, and they just accepted him.
Right.
So that was it. And from there, we
just didn't see
me and him, we never had the problems. It's just that's what happened.
He
ended
was
up
still with that manager, so he arranged him to go to AKA, kind of.
I helped him to
outside
go,
of the manager doing whatever, and then
that's
it. He's kind of done.
And
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's. But we had many other, great wars and great wins in UFC. We had Albert Tumenov running.
Right.
5 fights, 5 wins. Andrew Sanchez, we literally got him into the Ultimate Fighter.
Andrew Sanchez.
He won the Ultimate Fighter.
Right. Now he's the winner of Ultimate Fighter. He was one of the smallest guys there. He wasn't cutting weight. Really intelligent guy. Kept it together. Didn't freak out on the show like most guys do. And won the show like under the radar.
Yeah.
The dark horse, yeah.
A lot to do actually with us kind of, especially Bridget, give me encouragement for him specifically. Like, we were in the office, he has a manager, but we were thinking what would be good for him. We just won the RFA belt.
Okay.
He came to us with the loss. He was like 5-2. He had like a knockout loss, unfortunate.
Okay.
And I saw a lot of potential in the kid, and I was like, listen,
where was his level at the time when he came to you?
His level was pretty high, but I think he wasn't seeing himself. He didn't he was more using one style of wrestler. He just grinding and stuff. But I saw he has potential. He could be real good. As a striker, he already have a good grappling. So when he came, we clicked and we start working good, and we won one fight, then another, whatever. He got the belt RFA, and still his manager was telling us like they don't call him still for, even though he's. So, and me and Bridgie, we were sitting in the office one day, and she actually posted first the tryouts on Facebook. I saw it before I talked to her.
205.
For 205, it's like anybody who wants to go. Then we're in the office. Then she mentioned, she's like, wait a minute, for Andrew, it makes sense. He should go there. They don't need to cut anyway. Whoever's there, they're not 185er. They're not 205ers. They're all 185ers,
Right.
Anyways, and he's like, he can wrestle, he can move. Now his striking's up to point, and
he liked bigger guys. He always didn't mind bigger guys,
So, he started with her literally, and it gave me an idea. I was like, wait a minute, he's like Rustam. Rustam is really good with the bigger guys. So is Andrew. They can do real good, and he can win this whole thing. So we call him and the manager. Both came and he's like, okay, whatever you say. So a little bit maybe hesitant at the beginning, but so we ended up doing.
How did the tryouts go exactly?
They gave him the hardest fight. Like, they gave him their favorite.
Yeah, the tryouts goes kind of, you gotta do a lot of things before. You gotta
the pre-screening process.
It's like interview. You gotta grapple. You gotta hit the mitts. Who
holds the mitts?
Whoever.
You have to bring your own mitt holder?
Your own mitt holder, exactly.
Okay. All right.
But so anyway, he passes all this.
Interviews.
And so they select. I forgot how many. 18 fighters. And the first guy, I was able to go. Your own coach can come.
So the little clippets that we see is pretty much it, because Frankie Edgar wasn't chosen. So many great fighters were not chosen for the Ultimate Fighter.
Just to the pre-screening. They gotta get past that pre-screening process. It helps if you're a good grappler, though, because they do live grappling, right?
Yeah.
You can't do sparring because that would be like a fight. It would have to be commissioned.
But Frankie's a great grappler. I don't know.
I don't know what they look at it. Maybe if they're in a good mood that day.
That was a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
It's they look at the record. So Andrew had good resume. That's another good point. He gave us the idea.
Right.
Wait a minute, he's an RFA champion now. They will look at him more than the other guy.
And we greased the skids.
Already have the belt,
Right. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they gave him a lot of leadway, like to go through the whole thing, and plus we sent like some emails to. We did some highlight videos and stuff.
We greased the skids a little bit before.
He's like, listen, matchmaker, we knew them already, and
we watch this guy.
This guy, keep buying. He's like a prospect, and this guy, and they.
Right, sometimes I don't know because there's so many great fighters out there.
But you have to pass this interview. They put you on camera, and you have to do a little blurb to get that personality.
But I feel like they choose knuckleheads.
They're more interesting, more fun to watch.
They're not interesting. They're exciting.
Anything that'll sell on TV, right?
But that's a shame.
That's the hard part to get across to a lot of our guys, especially the guys from other countries, especially Russia, because they're stoic and they're very more to themselves.
Right.
They don't want to put it out there. They just want to fight. But we're in the entertainment business. That's the sad and ugly part of it. It's not the fight business. We love the fight business. We want it to be all the fight business, but it's the ugly entertainment business
So
at the
so
end of
right,
the day.
I want you to know that, I mean, he and I both know they're actually really amazing, fun guys in their own language.
In their own language.
But once they're around Americans, they're like,
or around a camera, you know. It's
they freeze up. You know, they gotta show everyone like this perception of who they think they should look on.
In reality, they are different. They got a sense of humor. They got funny. They're talented.
So funny. Yeah.
But again, this culture that we come from, the background, don't embarrass your older brother or your mom.
Right. Yeah. That's sort
the cultural
is
mentality is like officially you can't really do certain things. So kind of I think
bragging's not good. They couldn't pull like a Conor McGregor, and that's a far.
Well, I see. Although I see this changing, I see the trash talking is becoming more popular even over there.
Yeah, some of them are doing it, so that's good.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even know if Khabib is trash. I think he sincerely means everything he says.
Oh no, he does. That's true.
That's what I get from him. It's just because he has an accent and he goes, "This is number one bullshit." It sounds funny to us.
But he puts it out there, and that's great. And a lot of them don't put it out there, and that's the problem. He made himself stay relevant through those years where he was injured and not fighting. So that's amazing. That's a lesson right there.
Yeah. I mean, he's a tough competitor. He is one of the best. Though I don't agree with his logic sometimes. You know, you can't fight Conor McGregor. Ferguson's going to fight Conor McGregor.
Tell him we can help him with that weight cut, though, by the way. I know I can help him.
He should have realized your influence back then, but he didn't, Whatever. That's